Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to a brand new explainer. We're doing something a little bit different today, you guys. We're taking a biological journey, but we're going to play it out almost like a survival RPG game. Yep, we're putting you directly into the scales of one of the planet's absolute most formidable creatures, the giant anaconda.
So what does it really take to survive in the Amazon? Because honestly, the reality is pure chaos. Imagine the dense, incredibly warm, heavy, humid air of the jungle just hitting you all at once. You aren't just observing this environment from a distance today. No, you are in it. You are the anaconda, and you have to survive.
And just like that, boom, you slip into life from the comfort of your mother's body, born live right into that suffocatingly humid air. But hey, there is absolutely zero nurturing here. Instantly, you are entirely on your own. Your mom weaves you the absolute second she pushes you out. Actually, according to our sources, she honestly sees practically no difference between giving birth and pooping. I know, right? It's totally frantic. You and your 20 to 40 tiny siblings hit the mud and immediately scatter in all directions in this desperate dash for safety.
Now, what's really interesting about this timeline is how it maps out your entire hero's journey in the wild. We're kind of framing this as leveling up your stats. We go from that completely chaotic birth to the growing juvenile stage a few months in, all the way up to the ultimate boss level of adulthood, and then eventually the totally unavoidable decline late in life.
But right now, you're at day one, and the jungle doesn't care that you're new here. At this moment, you're only a couple of feet long. You're completely vulnerable and, honestly, kind of cute. But out here, cute just means you are an irresistible, bite-sized meal. To the jaguars, to the caimans, and even to the large birds just looking down from the canopy, you are literally nothing but a snack.
But you've got a trick up your non-existent sleeve, and this brilliantly illustrates your first real advantage: camouflage. You've got this beautifully patterned mix of green and brown skin. It's nature's perfect design, really. It makes you practically invisible when you slip into the murky river current or under some dense brush. It's this exact stealth that allows you to freeze, let the water carry you, and then suddenly clamp down on a small fish for your very first tiny victory. So, as you grow into the juvenile phase, you really start to perfect this hunting technique. Step 1. You hide in the murky water, mostly sticking to the rivers where you feel safe, leaving literally just your eyes and nostrils peeking above the surface. Step 2. You wait, patiently. You might wait for hours, maybe even days. Step 3. When a small rodent wanders just a little too close to the water's edge, bam! You strike with lightning speed. And Step 4. You constrict, wrapping your coils around it and squeezing incredibly tight. But look, as you grow, small frogs and little fish just aren't cutting it anymore. Your appetite demands way more, and you have to start weighing your risks. Imagine resting just below the surface when you spot a basking juvenile caiman right there on the riverbank. It's a huge risk. Jaguars and bigger anacondas are still out there roaming around, ready to make a meal out of you. You really have to ask yourself, should you go for it? This could be your absolute first big test as a true hunter.
You slink into the water, sliding gently toward the caiman with the grace of a shadow. Your muscles coil, and you strike. Dinner served. And honestly, it wasn't even as tough as you thought. It's a massive milestone for you. This shadowy, successful strike proves you are actively climbing up that food chain.
So the crucial point is just how much your stats and your diet have leveled up over these months. I mean, look at this comparison. As a level 1 baby, you were eating tiny fish and constantly hiding from birds and jaguars. But looking at the apex adult now, you've graduated to deer, wild pigs, and caimans. And your predators? Yeah, basically none. But hey, we have to keep it real here. Not every single day is a win. I mean, where did this jerk pop up from, right? There's this one deeply humbling hunt where a capybara, which is the world's largest rodent, by the way, completely outsmarts you. You try to take it down, and it literally ends up dragging you halfway across the river before it escapes. Definitely not your finest moment. But the good news is, nobody saw it, you survive, and with every single meal, you get just a little bit wiser. And all that hard learning pays off because you've finally reached the boss level. You are approaching adulthood. You are over 15 feet long now and still growing. Your body is just pure muscle mass. You have completely perfected the art of stealth, blending seamlessly right into the jungle, and you've developed this extraordinarily keen sense of smell that lets you track prey through the thickest underbrush imaginable. You are a true force to be reckoned with, commanding a very healthy fear from the entire territory.
Let's move to Chapter 1, Claiming Your Territory, Finding a Quiet Stretch of River. We see how this builds as you slither across fallen logs, finally discovering a secluded, canopy-hidden space and marking it with your scent. Then we hit Chapter 2, Leaving a Legacy, through the courtship dance. Survival now is all about passing on your genes, following a female's scent for a slow, mesmerizing, hours-long spiral mating dance. And the result of that incredibly intense courtship? Well, several months later, the female carries out your legacy. She finds a secluded area and gives birth to 20 to 40 live young. And just like your own mother did all those years ago, she pushes them out and leaves them instantly to fend for themselves. The harsh, unforgiving cycle of the jungle just completely resets for the next generation. Finally, Chapter 3, The Wear and Tear. A nostalgic hunt. This is a streak that reminds you of your youth. Maybe a successful, but somehow less satisfying catch on a small, grazing capybara. But as the years pass by, your massive body is really starting to feel the strain of survival. You know, you are still incredibly strong, no doubt about it, but that youthful energy that fueled your early hunts, it's fading. Then comes the day you realize things have truly changed. The first failed hunt in a really long time. You're stalking a young deer near the water's edge. Your muscles coil, you're ready to strike, but as you lunge, something just goes wrong. The deer senses you at the very last second and bolts. You try to give chase, but your body just doesn't move as quickly as it used to. You miss, and for the very first time, you feel this sheer, heavy exhaustion deep in your muscles. The weight of the years has finally caught up. Which brings us to the final chapter of this biological RPG. In reality, most anacondas don't die in battle. They simply grow too slow and too tired. This right here is the inevitable game over. The jungle doesn't mourn, it simply reclaims its own. You slither back into the water, knowing it isn't going to get any easier, slowly sinking beneath the surface as the jungle takes you back. And it really leaves us with this profound, lingering thought. We so often fear the giant anaconda as this invincible monster of the Amazon, but isn't it really just a survivor? A creature that starts out with absolutely nothing, battles its way to the very top of the food chain, only to fight the exact same undefeated enemy as the rest of us: time. Definitely think about that the next time you picture these incredible giants. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep leveling up your curiosity.